Welcome to the deep dive. Okay, today we're really digging into this stack of sources you sent over, all about business credits and incentives, specifically in Saskatchewan.
Right.
And our mission really is to pull out the big ones, the opportunities highlighted here that can, actually help you cut your tax bill, maybe fund some innovation, and really grow your business.
Absolutely. And I think what the sources really underline is that knowing about these programs isn't just paperwork. It's a real strategic edge. Understanding this stuff gives you a leg up.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. So let's start where the sources do with the kind of foundational tax advantages.
Yeah, the basics first. The material really zeroes in on that 0% provincial small business tax rate. That's on your first $600,000 of active business income.
0%.
0%. I mean, think about that. Compared to, say, a 10% rate elsewhere, that could be like $60,000 a year, staying right in your business.
That's serious capital for reinvestment, huge for cash flow. And the sources also mentioned something for manufacturing and processing.
Yeah, for M&P profits specifically, the provincial rate drops. It goes down to 10% from the general rate. So another saving there.
Every bit helps. Okay, so beyond those base rates, the sources seem to shift towards programs encouraging, like innovation and actual investment.
Exactly. Yeah, this is where it gets pretty interesting. If you're doing R&D, research and development, the sources point to a 10% provincial tax credit.
Okay.
But here's the kicker. The sources really stress this. It stacks with the federal SR&ED program, the main federal one.
Right, SR&ED, yeah.
So stacking those, the sources suggest you could potentially get back over 40% of your eligible R&D spending.
Over 40%. Wow. But I imagine the paperwork needs to be spot on.
Oh, absolutely. The sources hammer this home. Meticulous documentation is non-negotiable for R&D claims. You have to track everything properly.
Got it. Okay, what else on the investment side? The M&P investment tax credit.
Yep, the manufacturing and processing investment tax credit. That's 6% back on what you spend on eligible M&P equipment, new or used. And the key word the sources highlight is refundable.
Refundable meaning?
Meaning you get cash back. Even if you don't actually owe any provincial tax that year, it's like a direct cash injection from the government to encourage you to buy that equipment.
That's a big deal, direct cash flow.
Hey.
Now, for tech startups, the sources bring up the STSI.
Right, the Saskatchewan Technology Startup Incentive. This one offers a really substantial 45% tax credit, but it's for the investors putting money into eligible tech startups in Saskatchewan.
Ah, so it makes it much more attractive for people to invest in your startup.
Exactly. A 45% credit. That seriously changes the math for an early-stage investor. Makes it way easier to attract that crucial seed funding, according to the sources.
Makes sense. And there's another one, the SCII, the patent box thing.
Yeah, the Saskatchewan Commercial Innovation Incentive. That's the one. The sources explain it like this. If you develop new IP, could be a patent, maybe new software, and you start making money from it, this program can cut your provincial tax rate on those specific profits right down to 6%. And that can last for up to 15 years.
15 years at 6%? That's huge potential long-term savings if your innovation takes off.
It really connects that R&D effort directly to, making it more profitable down the line. Now, speaking of investment, especially in smaller companies, the sources flagged something new coming up.
Oh, yeah, the pilot program, SME Investment Tax Credit.
That's the one. It's planned for late 2025. The details in the sources say it's a 45% non-refundable tax credit.
Non-refundable, so it reduces tax you owe, but no cash back if you owe nothing.
Correct. And it's aimed at getting equity investment into established SMEs, small and medium businesses, specifically those with 5 to 49 employees.
Okay.
Initially, the sources say it's focusing on food and beverage processing and also machinery and transportation equipment manufacturing. The idea is clearly to help those kinds of businesses get capital, expand, create jobs.
Good to know that's on the horizon. The sources also kind of briefly list other things, right, like training support.
Yeah, they touch on a few others. The Canada-Saskatchewan job grant, for instance, covers up to 2/3 of training costs, up to $10 per employee. There's also mention of export support, like CanExport SMEs, credits for big value-added agriculture projects, and specific things for critical minerals and energy, too.
So quite a wide range depending on what you actually do.
Definitely shows the breadth. Now, critically, the sources offer some really practical advice for actually getting these benefits.
Yes, the do's and don'ts. The big DO seems to be keep amazing records, meticulous, Minimum 7 years, they say.
Cannot stress that enough based on the material. And the huge don't. If a program needs pre-approval, whatever you do, don't start the project before you get it. The sources warn that jumping the gun can kill your eligibility.
Right, that sounds like a painful mistake to make. Understanding the rules and deadlines for each specific program is key too, it seems.
Absolutely. But the good news, as the sources point out, is you're not alone in figuring this out.
Yeah, they list several support organizations, places like Square One, Community Futures, especially for rural businesses,
Innovation Saskatchewan for the tech and R&D side.
and WESK, Women Entrepreneurs of Saskatchewan.
Right. These groups, the sources suggest, are there specifically to help you navigate all this, understand the forms, the eligibility. They're like guides.
Okay, so wrapping this up, it really seems like, based on these sources, strategically using these incentives can make a really significant difference to your bottom line and your growth potential in Saskatchewan.
No question. Which kind of leaves us with a final thought for you to chew on based on everything we've just unpacked from the sources.
Yeah.
How could using maybe just one or two of these specific programs we talked about, the 0% rate, the R&D stack, the M&P credit, maybe the upcoming SME one, how could that fundamentally change your business's financial picture or even just its ability to compete?